shall not stand again. 'Cause every day they're talking about
It was good.
the Liberian.
So this video took forever to make again.
Everywhere
Oh my god, I think I last night it was like last week. Cause like there's too much stuff happening here. In Sacramento, honestly in the world in general. Like it's pretty much like war going on in a lot of places. Not everywhere though. It's pretty peaceful around here. I mean there's a lot of homeless though. Cause like I think in America like war zones are like when people are homeless. But yeah, so I guess we'll just talk about currency. Or like yeah, this is the second video about currency. Yeah. So I guess I'll just continue on where I left with the last one. Yeah, I guess I'll kind of go over what I went. And like on the last one we just talked about Merriam-Webster definition of currency, if it made sense or not, what fiat money was, US dollar as fiat money, and like blockchains. I like said I'd talk about blockchains in the next one, so yeah, here's the next one. Talk about blockchains on it. So, okay, let's just get started. The majority of US dollars are they're pretty much already existing digitally. So, I don't know if you guys know how, I don't know if you, it's probably going to be annoying because I'm eating Skittles as I'm doing this video. I'm like kind of busy, so I can't, I just woke up, like I'm just going to do this video and then have other stuff to do. So like I can't like make it all clean and stuff, like maybe later. It's like my 6th video I think, so it's not gonna be super clean. But yeah, but so many of the US dollars exist digitally already. And I don't know if you guys know how like money system works, but basically like money is pretty much dead, at least as far as like the US, like our fiat money is concerned. Like real money might not be, but like our currency, our fiat money, that's pretty much dead. Which means you have to, or you can watch videos if you're more interested, and I could do a video on it later, but basically it has to be, like the government has to say, okay, like we'll pay this back, and then they get printed money, and then they dish it out to the citizens, or well, the citizens who deposit it into banks, and then they, work to pay off the interest pretty much. So basically, yeah, that's not the main point of this video. So basically, money is debt. So the U.S. debt is currently about $27 trillion. Write that down. So that involves like debt owed to other countries, debt owed to the Federal Reserve, and like interest on that, etc. And like debt owed to banks too. And like the Federal Reserve is just basically the main bank. It's like the central, it's the central bank. That's what it is. Because all other banks basically report to it. It's like a government, pretty much. Except like a government of like money. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, so communism or capitalism? That's the question that you want to answer if you don't watch any of this other video. But yeah, so currently in the US, citizens are often in debt prior to actually being eligible to pay taxes. I don't even know why I wrote that down, but because I was actually looking at the debt clock, so I was probably just looking at all of those statistics, and then I just wrote that down because I caught my eye. But yeah, so prior to becoming eligible to actually pay taxes, a lot of people are in debt, and then I kind of mean like, so income tax, which is arguably constitutional or not. But so that's like kind of the biggest type, like property tax. But technically, when you're a kid, if like you just go buy something at the store, you might pay like sales tax. So those are kind of smaller taxes. But in terms of like paying huge taxes, a lot of citizens actually take on debt themselves before they have like the means to pay a significant amount of taxes, which is, a little bit funny when you think about I guess how the money is created in the first place. But taking all of that into account, so it seems as if with our chosen monetary current, okay, let me start that over. So taking all of this into account, it seems like our chosen or actually no, I did say that right. Our chosen monetary currency is being created and circulated more quickly than it is actually being used to produce actual work, real work, I called it. So there's like a graph, and I'll see if I can pull this up. I haven't really incorporated like other shit into my videos yet, because like, there's like a lot of shit to do. But there's like this common graph to where you see like the real work done by like the citizens of, I just call it the US, it's probably any nation, to be honest, at this point, or most that are kind of using this system. But like in the US, you have the real work or real productivity. Actually, it's in this book. Ray Dalio's Principles. That I was reading. It's all dusty, because that area is dusty. I think I haven't read it in like, it's been like a couple months since I picked it up. But the real productivity goes like more linear, so it keeps going up, but it's linear. But like the speculation on that productivity goes up like exponentially. It's like basically you can have like real labor being done, but it's not going to be up until a certain point, until like the speculation and the labor are matched. But then like at some point the speculation on the labor becomes like exponentially high, but like the actual work being done isn't that. So like when you get like off to the, like if you're looking at it on like an XY plot, like when you get farther down on the X side, the like speculation on the, so basically you could call that the currency being created, because that's the speculation on the labor pretty much. And that like includes banks giving out loans, that includes the stock market, basically anything that speculates on the labor of people. As you go down in time or farther in time, like you're gonna have like this stratification of like what people like think is like the labor is producing, and like what the labor is actually producing is gonna be like way different. Like exponential versus linear. At first it's like lower, but then like as time goes on it just gets way higher, to the point where it's like just nuts, and then probably like war breaks out and stuff. Yeah, so I put the rate of real work production is linear, the rate of monetary currency creation is exponential, etc. So what will be the effect of blockchains on this current trend? So yeah, we're kind of at the point where fights are breaking out. So not necessarily total war, although China has declared war. Actually, that's my other script. I have so many of these things, honestly. like script after script, like because it's just easier to write them down than actually do it for some reason. Probably because I have another script about left versus right brain, using one or the other over time. But fuck it. So where was I going? But yeah. So I don't think it's gonna. So we're not at the point where it's total war. China declared war, but like we're not really fighting it. It doesn't seem like. But there's kind of just unrest. So what will the effect of block? And then maybe war these days might just be because like there's an information war. There's an information war and like cultural wars kind of, but no one's really. And there's protests, and people are dying definitely. Like there are people dying, but it doesn't seem like it's a total war yet. So I don't know if we're not at like the complete end of the cycle maybe, but maybe like wars just fought differently though, so maybe this is kind of, who knows, like it's just more economic now and like like it is not, like now it's information, so at one point it was physical, like then it's economic, then it's like information almost. I don't know if that's a trend in and of itself, but blockchains basically, they exist as a, well, currently they are like a non-fiat representative currency. Why did I say this? Blockchains currently largely exist based on non-fiat, often representative currencies. Can end up making it easier to incentivize real work production through micro incentives within smart contracts. That's interesting. Well, I'll go over like different types of currencies in another video, but I just think I'm kind of getting at, it'll just make it easier to incentivize real work with a blockchain. Hopefully, like with technology, you can just, obviously you'll need a device that can run the programs, but hopefully you can just get paid directly, like so you don't have to get paid through some like body or something. No, but that's more of a problem, it seems like, in the US. Like, so as you, well, I'll probably get that in another video. I wrote the script like a week ago. I'm just like learning things every week, so like, I don't know if that, yeah, but I'll just go to the next bullet. But basically, hopefully we can just incentivize real work by paying people directly for whatever work they choose to do, or whatever work maybe needs to be done and like they'll choose to do it. Look, essentially monetary rewards from fulfilling tasks and projects throughout the economy can be broken down more finely and distributed more easily and directly to those persons who contributed real work to the task. And it's starting to sound more and more idealistic as I go on. The tasks themselves can be better defined and agreed upon through smart contracts. For people who actually are interested in doing something like that, it probably will work out, but let's face it, the majority of people probably aren't. For example, in a healthcare network, people from around the country can help a person in Montana lower his blood pressure, A1C, subcutaneous fat levels, and reverse his type 2 diabetes, all through, actually, you know what, probably not all through a video conferencing information exchange, probably like in-person stuff too, like it's just like a rough thing, Because realistically, as long as you have a device, you could just go to somebody in person and then just exchange your currency. Like, because to be honest, these cryptocurrencies, or whatever you want to call them, like essentially they're just going to be digital currencies. It's just going to make it easier for you to pay somebody like whatever amount you want to pay them directly. So I don't really think it has to do with like, it literally just has to do with all of these dumb corporate, like all of these basically it might not even, it might be partly from the government too, like it might be a government organization, but it's just these things are just too big, so like they don't actually care about the end like user or end patient, whatever you want to call it. Like they call it a different thing in like every like quote unquote industry, but at the end of the day it's like just a person. So why don't you just, it's like in my like, so I think we've gotten to the point where like organizations are too big to like try to help a person at this point. Like, so the government's huge and like even all these companies are pretty big, so they just care about different stuff, and then that like has the end goal of helping the person, but it might like along the way it might get like misaligned, and at the end of the day who really cares, because like there's so many other things you're kind of doing. So you just hope the benefit wraps around at the end, or at this point, like it's just about like a lot of times like you're just making money now, because that at some point down the process of like the misalignment, it might have like been a better, like a more benign misalignment, but at this point like it's kind of like too much on one, like just the making money part. So if we can like, so now it might just be the circle coming back, so we'll get back to maybe like 1-on-1 or like 3-on-1 or 4 or 5-on-1 or something like that helps like one person, and then all those people just get rewarded for actually helping that person like defeat whatever, like if he wanted to lower his blood pressure, A1C, like get rid of his diabetes or something, they can just get paid for like actually helping that person with the specific knowledge that they have, because you can only help somebody with general knowledge so much. It's like a lot of these organizations, like all you can say to somebody's general knowledge now, because you might get in trouble for saying something too specific, and that kind of sounds stupid, like, but I don't even want to give examples, because like I just remember in pharmacy school, and like even like earlier than that, in like undergrad, even in high school, and I thought it was weird at the time, and then I kept doing it, and then I realized like, wait, is this how it works? But I still kind of think it's weird. That's why I have a YouTube channel, because like to me, I feel like you should just be able to say stuff. But obviously think about it. But yeah, it's kind of weird to like only be able to say something like to a certain person organizationally, and then like say something to that person organizationally. Like to me that was weird, but yeah. So maybe it might just be better if you could just help a person like who had your problem or something, like 1-on-1, and then we can build bigger and bigger, maybe like as if we can align it along the way. And it'll probably get broken again, right? But like it's just time for different stuff at some point, to like correct some misalignments, or else like you're just gonna screw up people later. Like if like at least like end a cycle and begin another one once in a while. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This video is probably gonna take forever, but I'll probably try to cut it, because like, this is why I don't do all these videos so often, because it takes days. But 27 trillion, you can see that. I guess just remember that number. So I ended up writing down. Yeah, next videos I'll probably talk about trying to preparing for, or maybe, because that was the next script I wrote, but I have like 3 or 4 different scripts now, so we'll just see which one I end up doing. They're all pretty interesting in my opinion. That's my opinion though. Alright. Stay healthy. Skies are blue, but like there's trouble elsewhere. So just keep yourself healthy.